All right, so you're coding, and you hit this super common problem. You've got a bunch of related items, maybe a list of usernames, or high scores, or a set of coordinates, and you need to group them all together under a single variable name. How do you pull that off?
Your first instinct, and it's a great one, is to reach for a Python list. You use those familiar square brackets, pop your items in, and boom, you've got a nice, flexible container for all your data. It's pretty much the go-to solution for this exact problem.
But hang on, here's where things get a little more interesting. What if that collection of data is, well, what if it's sacred? I mean, something that, once you define it, should be set in stone, totally protected from any accidental changes down the line. A list is changeable, so maybe it's not the safest tool for that job. And for that exact situation, Python has another trick up its sleeve. It's time to meet the tuple. Think of it as the list's close cousin, but with one very important rule that changes the whole game. So, what exactly is a tuple? Well, at first glance, it sounds exactly like a list. It's a built-in way to store a bunch of items in order, and just like a list, you can have duplicate values in there. The real magic, as you're about to see, isn't in what it can do, but in what it can't do. The first thing you'll notice, the most obvious difference, is the syntax. While lists use those square brackets, tuples are created with round parentheses. It might seem like a small change, but that visual cue signals a massive difference in how they behave. Okay, now here is a classic trap that gets almost everyone when they're starting out. If you try to make a tuple with just one item inside parentheses like this, Python doesn't see a tuple. It just thinks you're using the parentheses for math, so it just sees the number 45. So how do you fix it? Here's the secret sauce. You need a comma. A little trailing comma to tell Python, hey, I'm serious, I want a tuple with just one thing in it. You have to add that comma right after the value. It looks a bit weird, I know, but that little comma is absolutely crucial. All right, let's get to the absolute heart of the matter. The thing that makes a tuple, well, a tuple. We're about to explore its superpower, something called immutability. So first, let's just do a quick refresher on how lists work. We make a list, we can target an item by its index, in this case, index 0, the very first one, and we assign it a new value. And it works, just like that, the list has been changed. We call this being mutable. Now, let's try to pull the exact same move, but this time with a tuple. We create it with the same values, we target that first item at index 0, we try to assign it a new value, and what happens? Bam! An error. And this error message says it all. Python just stops you dead in your tracks with a very specific type error. It's telling you, loud and clear, that you are not allowed to assign a new value to an item inside a tuple. Once it's created, its contents are locked. This idea is the core of immutability. So you might be thinking, why on earth would I want something I can't even change? Well, there are two huge reasons. First, data integrity. It's like a guarantee that your important data won't get messed with by accident somewhere else in your code. And second, performance. Because Python knows for a fact that a tuple will never change, it can optimize things behind the scenes, making operations like looping through it often faster than with the list. Okay, so we've hammered home what you can't do. You can't change them. But don't start thinking tuples are useless. There is actually a ton of stuff you can do with them. Let's take a look. First off, getting items out of a tuple works the exact same way as a list. You just do square brackets with the index of the item you want to grab, and it hands it right over. No surprises there. And a lot of the other tools you're used to from lists are still available. You can find out how long it is with len. You can count how many times a certain item shows up using .count, or find where it is with .index. You can even add two tuples together to create a brand new longer one. Slicing works too, which is awesome. Just like you do with lists, you can grab a whole range of items at once. Now, the important thing here is that this doesn't change the original tuple at all. Instead, it creates a completely new tuple that just contains the slice you asked for. So there we have it, two really powerful tools for storing groups of items. Now for the most important part, figuring out which one to use and when. This table really just brings it all together. You've got lists with their square brackets. They're your go-to whenever you need a collection that's going to grow, shrink, or have its items swapped out. Then you've got tuples with their parentheses. They are the perfect choice when your data is fixed, when you want to protect it, and get that potential performance boost. In the end,
It all comes down to your intent. If you need your data to be dynamic and adaptable, a list is your best friend. But if that data is a constant, something that should never, ever change, then a tuple isn't just an alternative. It's often the clearer, safer, and even faster choice. So as you start your next project, think about it. Where can use the safety and speed of a tuple to make your code even better?